It's really great for the sort of padlock to come off the bid and for it to be revealed to all. We've been working on it for probably nearly a year. We each started individually, the three partners started individually, until we realised that we had a common purpose to kickstart an expansion in commercial national radio in the UK.
It's just probably the most exciting day that you can imagine. So we've sort of gone into this bid process thinking it's all about finding brands and content that's going to extend consumer choice. And when I saw the presentation today in its entirety for all of those services, I think that's precisely what we've done.
I think our bid really does stand above in the sense of the financial commitments that have been given by the partners. So Bauer, Arqiva and ourselves have made sure that we've actually put in place binding agreements to fund the licence for the 12 years of the licence duration, so that regardless of what happens within our structures, within the service providers and elsewhere, the sustainability of this multiplex is ensured. And then we've coupled that by bringing some really big either brand extensions, new brands to the market, and then some great quality, more niche services. But you know, the YouGov research, as you saw in the presentation earlier, really backs up that there's strong demand for all of those.
We're making an absolute commitment to Ofcom that, come what may, because of the company structure, the three shareholders will stand behind this bid for the full 12 years. There's absolutely no doubt that we can sustain it over that period.
It's all about, I think, making our bid as attractive as possible for consumers to want to go out and tune in, but also go out and buy new DAB sets.
I think it's also great for listeners that there's a good lineup. Actually, in both bids, I think we have to be sort of ruthlessly neutral, but there's a good lineup of very, very strong brands and strong stations. And I think one of the things that sort of picked up on today was the strong emphasis on speech and very well-known sort of brand extensions and loved and trusted brands that have come back into radio, which is actually really helpful. And I think the research backs it up quite forcefully, that it would encourage not only new listeners but existing listeners to DAB to listen more.
What we have seen so far is, if you look at the Absolute story, for example, they've done a really, really good job at breaking new boundaries, getting new content out there. Digital services are all about new exclusive content. As a manufacturer, the mantra has always been that content is king. The devices are out there. There's lots of devices out there, but people need the reason to buy them, and it's the content that is that reason. So this is a huge step forward.
Yeah, look, it is ambitious, but I think it's one area that commercial radio should have as an opportunity. The BBC provides some fantastic services, and I'm not for a second suggesting that we're going to overtake the BBC, but the BBC at the minute take an 80% share of speech radio listening in this country, which in anyone's books I think is just a bit too much. And it's for commercial radio operators like ourselves to put up distinctive services to give listeners a reason to actually come back to the commercial radio side. So TalkSport has done a good job in lifting our audiences significantly, but we think there's lots we can do with that ethos and passion in driving audiences to talk radio, to talk business. We'll have the additional sports rights and talent on TalkSport too. So the speech services are really something we're quite excited about.
When the call first came through and the list of participants was laid out in front of us, it was pretty clear that this was a very, very strong bid, not only from programming perspective, but from presence in the UK, infrastructure, funding capacity. No, I think it's a fantastic group of people.
We were really excited when UTV came to talk to us about the Sound Digital launch and the role that Bloomberg could play as a partner in Talk Business. I think radio plays a really important role now in the business audiences' lives. And if I look at the market, you've got BBC and certain shows that business audiences are attracted to because they've got no other choice, which is why I think this is such an exciting launch.
I think what we've got is the most phenomenal track record in terms of showing that we can imagine, we can create, we can launch, we can nurture radio stations on digital platforms. Bearing in mind digital-only services can be really precarious as a financial environment, but we can do that and get stations to such a size that they're appealing to listeners by the millions. So I think our track record is what we bring. We've got great brands as well, and obviously we've got fantastic content, and we're really ambitious for growth of audience within our business.
It's going to double the capacity for national commercial radio overnight. We've built 600 or 700 DAB transmitters over the years, so we know how long it takes. We're making a commitment to launch it within 12 months of the licence award. So we've got all of the plans and the designs in place already, and we can push the button on that as soon as the licence is awarded.